Welcome back, everyone. It's the Aces AFL Show, the first ever Aces AFL Show. It's a brand new show, brand new name, new guest, new co-hosts, and special guest. Boys, welcome to the pod.
Do you want to do like name introduction or just?
I need to match that energy.
I just thought I'd start up with some energy. Daisy was yawning. All right, we got Daisy Thomas. Welcome to the pod, big fella.
Thank you very much for having me, Pig. Good to see you.
We've got the leading goal kicker at the Bulldogs, Mitchy Wallace.
Oh, thank you for that introduction, Tom.
We got the Pig, Hibbert, back.
Boys, you got a good lineup here,
Easy,
mate.
boys.
What's going on?
You want to show any energy or what's going on here? It's the funeral.
We'll get momentum as we start, but you started off well.
Yeah.
Aces AFL Show. We've binned APC. No one knows what that even represented, so we thought we'd keep it simple. But, boys, plenty going on in the season predictions today. The season's around the corner. How are we all? I'll start with you, Wal.
Good, mate. Busy, but very happy to be part of this show.
Slightly overdressed.
You did send me the dress code, and you guys have failed. But I like your gold jacket.
We've come straight off the little photo shoot here for the season, ahead. And what about you, Daisy? You enjoy the skit that we just got done this morning?
There's never been a bloke more comfortable with his shirt off or half off sitting on the back of a boat at 7 a.m.
It wouldn't be me or you, Daisy.
And it wasn't. Tom,
I took one for the team, and then again into the suit.
I took one for the team.
I
You
did.
reckon?
I enjoyed it.
How well did he play the role, Daisy? Like, we did this skit. I mean, I could put my hand up and say, I stuffed me lines up, I reckon, 20 times. I was starting to think, well, me and Daisy know each other, but not that well yet. And I'm starting to think he's going to pull out of the show after how many times I just kept going, hang on, mate, another take. But, whoa, I reckon he was a 1 or 2 take done.
He had a butler in this
He probably
skit.
has him at home
Well, that's
as well.
why that's so natural.
Yeah, my butler was just having a bit of time out, so
It's good.
Oh, it was very good. And a shout out to Benny and Dan who helped us out as well. It was a good laugh. But we had to announce the show. It's exciting. We've held back for a while. So to everyone that's been messaging us, we had to time our run, and here we are today shooting our first episode. But Pig, I guess it's important for a little announcement on your role this year. We need to be transparent with our loyal listeners.
Yeah, so I won't be a full-time member of the panel here, and you've recruited well. So I feel a bit self-conscious that the boys are going to do a little bit better than me last year. But, yeah, I obviously can't do it full-time anymore. I'll pop in whenever you want to give me some cash to come in, mate. So I'll
ask
pop
Wal
in
for that. I'll give him all.
and talk some smash.
we'll compare notes after.
But obviously I'm full time now. I'm in the Fireys, and the lineup of schedules. This would have been a bit too hard to do. So I'm glad you
talk us through that. Like, how long you been in there?
I did. Well, it's on recruits halfway through the last season. I started in July. I finished December. So I've been on shift. I'm out at Windsor. I've been there for 2 months on station now, and absolutely loving it. It's awesome job. Good lifestyle.
That'll do, I reckon, mate. You don't have to sell it to us when you join in.
when you're done with all this, jump on board and jump into recruits.
I live in an apartment, and the fire alarm goes off, and the fire trucks rock up, and you've got to evacuate really quickly. It was like 4:30. I'm going, and it always happens. It's someone that just might knock the button. And I went down, and who's the first bloke I saw? The big Pig and the full kids.
What's the call-out fee for that?
I think it's about $700 every 15 minutes per truck. So you do the math. It's a lot of money.
Back at the Dogs days, we didn't have an abundance of money, and I think every probably 2 or 3 weeks, the Fireys would come out because someone fell on the button or whatever, and then there was a lineup. It was literally a criminal investigation because we were spending your $700 per truck every time. And we had to get to the bottom of who it was because we didn't have the money to spend.
The player has to pay for it.
Yeah, it was a staff member or player.
It was Acker. You made him the scapegoat for everyone else.
Something as simple as burnt toast. It'd send off the fire alarm.
Yeah.
And it was something so fickle.
Well, we're going to do our best to try and get him on every week, boys. So, just sell it to him. But, Daisy, you're the busiest man in football, and you're going to go head-to-head with the other guy that's the busiest man in football. Your man, Kane Corns, who couldn't finish the Fireys, I heard. He's halfway through. So that's something you've got on the great man.
Words.
How are you, mate? You're a busy man. Thanks for jumping on this year. It's going to be good fun.
It will be good fun. I'm looking forward to that. No, it's going to be good. Obviously, the work with 7, Friday night footy, and then Tuesdays on a panel. I think Kane's hosting, which is going to be nice. You can steer the ship. Hodgie and I are going to do some game review stuff, a bit of vision. I think Caro's coming in with a version of her. I don't think I'm allowed to say what it is because I think that may be under TM at another network. So I'm not sure where that lies, but it'll be good. It's going to be good. It's going to be an interesting year with 7, obviously Fox and viewers having choice for the first time in a long time.
Thank you for gracing your presence with us.
Well,
look at you. Your agenda is full.
I actually have to go in 15
I
seconds.
embarrassingly admitted to Daisy before on the way to some of the pods last year. I would listen to him in the midweek rub and pretty much copy all his answers, so I didn't have to watch as much footy on the weekend.
Jeez, he must have tip well. He costs us every week.
Anyway, none of my tips work, so I'm supposed to listen to
shoot me my notes. It's not going to work when we're both sitting here.
I want to get the first reaction though, because there's all these. I don't look into the media too much in terms of the, but I did look when I saw Corns, Daisy Thomas.
Let us laugh, mate.
No. I just
I
thought.
don't look into the media too much.
I just thought that there was a bit of a rivalry there. Like, have you actually sorted it, or is it going to be a bit organic? Like, how's it? Because we want friction on a show.
There'll be friction. It's opinions, it's views, and I'm very much sort of player and sticking up for people, and he's very much trying to find an angle, which is generally it's a pretty valid point, most of the ones he makes. So
good,
I'll agree with some of them, I'll disagree, and when it eventually comes sort of butting of heads, it should be pretty good viewing.
What nights are you on? So it's a Tuesday night, Friday night football.
Friday night, Tuesday night, yeah.
Yeah. And just one more. You're head of Droneland.
Yeah, not head of Droneland. Yeah, but started up a drone business a couple of years ago, and it's going really well. I've just recently moved into Port Melbourne, which is a lot closer to home than in Campbellfield, our previous factory. Branching at all different types of industries, but more recently
What do you do with Droneland?
What do you do with Droneland? So we offer
Has to be right up the top of the way he's dressed.
we do.
Either that or he just got back from Bali with that rollie.
It's a real one, Daisy. You got the receipt?
Is that your old man's or is that yours?
Old man's got a cupboard full, but he lent me this one.
Couldn't find it between the cash.
Mate, if I can't beat you, I'll join you with it. No, it's good, mate. We're doing a lot of different stuff in sports turf. Actually, we've been, we did a couple of trials at Etihad. We're doing Amy Park, got MCG coming up, so we're really branching into the sports turf in terms of the turf health. Obviously, there's a lot of traffic on the grounds with concerts, not only footy but other things. So
do your drones drop seed?
They do. So they're the agricultural drones, seed and spray. They're quite big. They probably fill up this room. So it's sort of cutting edge stuff, and we're just hoping that.
Did you say you started this?
I didn't start the manufacturing of the drones, but the company itself, with my brother and brother.
We don't muck around here at American Aces. We only get the best.
Don't worry about me gracing you with the presents. Bloody Elon over here.
I was going to say, I'd have to ask him off air about these Chinese drones. Are you sending your ones over there, or what? Those big ones the size of the room?
They're building some decent drones in the agricultural space. Yeah. We'll stick in that sector, and the mapping drones. But in terms of the surveillance and the military ones, we're sort of
how long till we're driving cars that are drones?
Well, they're
drone cars.
Overseas, Australia's always 5 years behind whatever's happening overseas. So they're doing it over there in sort of some of the northern sort of European countries. Right. So it'll come here. It's just CASA and our aviation law. A few hurdles.
Always been an issue with CASA.
Yeah, we'd like them to be a little bit more lenient for us so we can kick into that next gear.
Well, there you go, guys. There's a little bit of a introduction to our elite co-hosts. We are here for the AFL show. We're going to be here every week. To everyone watching and listening, we're going to be ready to go Wednesday nights. We'll record Wednesday about 2:00 every week, and you will see Daisy, Mitchie, and myself, and hopefully Pig, but if not, another guest every week. And we'll break it all down. We'll have some funny segments. We've got some segments from last year, Pig, that no doubt the Pooch and the Grouse, and plenty more that we'll keep in there. But we're going to put it out to everyone that love the AFL show, see what they want us to do. We have a massive reveal. Well, I just want to put that on the agenda, but there's a big reveal at the end. It's something brand new. No one's done this before, we don't think, and it's something we're all pretty excited about. So we'll get to that at the very end. I don't even think you know what the reveal is.
No, I don't.
If you're a local footy club, get excited.
Yeah,
Are you playing for a local team?
Playing local, yeah. Port Colts again.
Okay.
And do you like to punt?
Bear shit in the woods.
And do you like cash?
Bear shit in the woods.
Oh, well, you're going to love this reveal at the end. You are going to love it. So stay tuned, but we'll get right into a few things as we get over the latest injuries. But today's agenda is all about our season predictions. We're going to go over our top 4, top 8, our wooden spoon, our player awards. That's your Brownlow, that's your Coleman, that's your Rising Star, and season wins over under with a little bit of quick fire and plenty more. So, boys, we shouldn't wait any longer. But before we do, let's just go to Daisy in the newsroom with the latest news.
Top of the hour. Pretty sure on here it doesn't say Daisy's got the news.
Oh, who did the run sheet, boys?
The big news is obviously Carlton at the minute. The concerns I have now, I had them in the top three. I sort of had them in that 1 to 3 seeded going into the season, and a little bit on the back of that too, because of Jagger Smith was going to come in, provide a point of difference. He looked like he was ready-made, sort of Nick Dacos-esque in the way he gets turns one touch into two. Newman's now a hole. It's a concern, I think, for the Blues, because now you got to shuffle the cards a little bit more than they may have wanted to. Doherty was going to get midfield minutes. Now he might have to go to halfback. Is anyone else sharing the same concerns with the Blues, or are we waiting to see?
And what's the go with Charlie Curnow as well?
He's got troublesome knee.
Didn't Pitnet just do his calf?
Big fella calves.
I'm pretty sure they've lost about 3 or 4 and some big names as well.
Yeah, and look, you can hold up for so long, but if you have that many layers of injuries and that many personnel out, I had them in top 4 as well.
Yeah.
Now I'm questioning myself. Look, I still think they're going to win more games than they're going to lose, and they're going to end up on that top echelon on the ladder, but I don't know how long they can hold on.
These big injuries, when you're starting behind the 8 ball, like a few more injuries, and then you're like, Christ, we are genuinely testing depth.
If you
which
find yourself 1 and 3 or 1 and 4 at the start of the year, long way back.
And Sam Walsh has had a bit of an interrupted pre-season, hasn't he? It's not like he's had a nice run at it.
If you're missing 3 or 4, that's enough. Like all the teams that have won the premierships over the last however many years, they're probably the fittest teams, the ones with less injuries, have their players out there every week, so it's a big out.
It's an amazing time of year though, because you don't want to you want to have a good strong pre-season. You want to push the envelope, but not too far, because when you do topple over the edge, that's when you get the 2, 3, 4, 5 people injured, and your first half of your season's really impacted.
it's going to be as even as ever, I feel. Like,
How hard was the top 8? I was putting me top 8. It took me hours.
Yeah, that's
Still haven't even that was a lie.
hours.
Took me an hour.
No sleep last night, mate.
I didn't sleep. I was looking for that briefcase.
Outside of, and I'll probably leave them on an island, being Richmond, and no disrespect, they've just cleaned out a lot of top-end talent, a lot of older players. They're going to have youth. It's going to be exciting to see what they do, but I think results may become irrelevant for them. Outside of that, like North should improve, West Coast should improve. It's as even as you're likely to see from 17 to first.
Have you got one real surprise packet that you think of that will surprise everyone?
I'm big on the Gold Coast Suns.
I was last year and they burnt me all year.
Yeah, well, that's
You were real big on them
They
last year.
cost
They were no good.
You were against North and I was on. They both burnt us.
And North in the back end of last year, though, they were challenging some of the better teams. So if they can just show that progression, they'll be pushing up there as well.
We'll get into it in a second, but the other injuries are the Dogs. They've lost a few. Well, you can probably touch on them, but they have a few big names out as well. I put them in the Carlton category where they have they're not a great list. They have a good list, but a lot of their key personnel are injured.
Yeah, and I'll talk about sort of star power. I'll mention that throughout the year, and we're losing a lot of our star power. We'll talk about Treloar. Say we. The Dogs still close to my heart, so I'll call them we.
You can say we.
But no, Eddie Richards a bit sore now. Obviously, we've got Jamara, who's coming back. We might touch on him later in the segment, but there's just too many of our star power players that aren't going to be fit for round 1, and we've got a pretty tough start the first 5 or 6 rounds. So we can find ourselves in a little bit of a hole if these players don't come back quickly.
Let's move on from the injuries before we get right into the predictions. But it was Finn Callahan who was offered the largest AFL contract, and you boys aren't happy with it. But 17 mil over 10 years. He took the 4 years. My mail, it's about 1.2, but who really knows? $17 million from the Saints over 10, and he says, no, thank you.
It's a fair slap in the face to the Saints. 17,
Isn't it?
How quickly would you have got yourself from GWS to Moorabbin?
Mate, I would have hired a jet if they're offering me that much.
You could have bought one.
I would have lent you mine.
Yeah, 10 years.
You can borrow mine.
And what did he sign? 1.2 for 4.
I don't know what
great
the number
money.
was, but that was the rumour when I read some article. But yeah, just the 4 years.
But like we're saying, like it's $500K less a year, and anything can happen. We saw with Jamara, he turned down big contract, and he's had an up and down preseason this year. He signed to 2 years or something. Injuries, 10 years, security 1.7.
It'd be
See you later.
interesting. Like we're
Packing me bags.
talk about financial literacy. You don't really get taught that in school. Imagine if you got taught about that.
I've been taught it's in school.
I'm just saying,
The fuck is financial literacy?
Oh, it's about how to
Jerome
cost
boy.
of living.
Spell it out for
Because
us,
he lives.
Muskie.
Give me a
Muskie needs to spell it out for us. Public school boys.
I just think that like if someone sat him down and said, "You've got $17 million coming out, you can set yourself up for life." Now I know you're passionate about your football, but the cost of living and where it sets you up, like it's a different discussion. And then we talk about loyalty, but that's coming into question so often now that I don't know.
But what can't 1.2 over 4 at a better club do for you?
$500,000 less, which is $2 million over those 4 years, which is
Get
a
taxed
lot.
a bit on it though. Well, you'd be able to break down the tax. It's not that much.
You don't see all of it. But, it's just I just think if that's the new ceiling, what's next?
Yeah.
What's it say about
What's Harley Reid going to get?
What's he going to take though
Harley
for
Reid
someone in
just-
that situation? Is it going to have to be 2 a year, 20 million?
If he's getting offered that, Harley Reid might get offered 25 over 10.
I wonder how much he didn't do it though because he knew he was going to be the highest paid player. Like that has to at some point sit in your head because that's all that will be spoken about.
Yeah.
So
And are you worth it?
yeah,
Because you're 1.7 the first year, so the highest in your first year. So you a Nick Dacos level as soon as you walk in the door, and then you got that level for 10 years.
What if you've already got cash? He might be he's from, where's he from? He's Frankston way, isn't he?
Trust fund, we just don't know, do we?
Oh, you
She's going to have to
also
dumb
lucky.
things down on this podcast a little bit.
Heck, what is it? I feel like we're just getting a little lesson on the
I
way.
feel smarter already.
Righto, let's get to State of Origin before we get right into the show. But there's a lot of talk. We saw the Indigenous All-Stars, which was great. They put on a clinic against Freo. But this State of Origin, I don't know. What do you boys think? What should happen? Should it happen? When should it happen? Give me your thoughts.
Mate, I've got a tiny thought. Now, I listened to...
minuscule, I think we'll call this.
We talk about injuries. How often we've talked about injuries off the top of the show, how important it is to have players on the park. Now, you're going to have pre-season games. You can't go straight into round 0 or round 1. So there's a slot there, I reckon, for State of Origin. If you want to have a practice match, why not get the best talent and make it a big broadcast, get everyone involved? I think there's an opportunity there, but that's probably the only time, bearing in mind the casualties that could fall out of it if it was mid-year or towards the latter end of the year.
You can't half-ass it. If you do it, you have to go, right, we're having the best players and we're going to give you cash is the only reason you'll get them to sign up, effectively, I think. Yeah. And that's the only way the club would be taken out of their hands. If players go, no, we want this, I want to play.
Yeah,
it counts as
you need the coaches to buy into it too, because then you don't want players going, I want to play, and then the coach going,
you can see their trepidation. If you've got a side that you have to coach 100%. For the whole year, and Paddy Cripps is going, I want to play.
Yeah,
you'd be sitting there going,
well, how do the NRL do it? Because the coaches all buy into it, like it's just part of their fabric now that they just play every year. They do it so well.
And without being rude to the NRL or disrespectful, there's probably more understanding of like the contact injury and what you're going to get. Like it's all front on, a whole lot of it. Unless if you do an ACL, it's more being tackled side on or like our game. Whereas theirs, they sort of know, the numbers wise and the way you can be injured is probably less. If that makes some sort of sense.
I think talking about the pride of the jumper.
You explain.
But the pride of the jumper was...
Be my chat GPT. Say that, but better.
I think... more precise. Less shit. No. I can't, Daisy. We're going to work well this year.
This is good, actually. This is good.
Yeah, but I think the pride in wearing your club jumper is something that, you long for. And I don't think there's that same nostalgia around wearing the state jumper anymore because it hasn't been a part. It's been vacant. So how do you drum up the importance of your state footy before you do it? Because you go into bat for your teammates that wear your club jumper, but do you go in for bat for your teammates that wear the state? There's not that feeling yet. So how do you drum that up?
It's going to be manufactured.
It has
whichever way.
Yeah.
I personally think Vic v All-Stars, so it's competitive.
Yeah.
Cash is imperative.
Yep.
And I think what you said about the coaches, like the GMs, the coaches, all those kind of people, they have to be on board with it. And they can be on the panel as well and they get fed. It's a bit of an honour that you're a coach and an assistant. So you're kind of working hard to get that role. But it has to be in the middle of the season for me. And it has to be something like the NRL do where it's just shut up shop, Thursday, Wednesday night, the whole league gets a bye that week and we just turn on this game and it's fierce. And like you said, I go to the NBA, their All-Star is putrid. Like, it's that bad. They just do it. Obviously,
but
people still watch it.
I feel that's what ours would be regardless.
Well, then I wouldn't do it.
But that's the whole thing. Like,
But I reckon there's players that would go, I want to beat these blokes. Just one game. One game.
If I'm, again,
50 grand, would you do it for 50 grand?
I wouldn't do much for 50 grand these days. That's what me boy told me to say anyway. But in terms, like,
How much? 27?
Is that 30? How many cents in the dollar is that?
Well, it's not the threshold's 18 grand, and then you start paying tax off it.
That's very good. The ChatGPT specialist, so Muskie.
Yeah, so again, like, I'll keep using Carlton. If you're Paddy Cripps and you're like, shit, this is my final, like, we're flying here. I'm a chance to play finals where we need to go deep. In the middle of the year, you're not going, oh, yeah, I'll come play, Mickey Mouse competition. It doesn't have the value that State of Origin in the Origin has, and I think for that reason it's always going to struggle unless it's like an exhibition game where you can take the piss and kick torps.
Yeah.
And people would love that. Still.
Well, that's fun, yeah. Like the All-Stars game, that's where I see
It's
it. But
pretty hard not to run out in the field and compete though. Like sometimes you might pull it back 5 or 10%, but like you don't want to be embarrassed either. Like, so I feel like once you get them out there, it'll still be somewhat competitive. But you're right. Like, when do you have
Imagine
it?
Melbourne, MCG, 100,000, build up, no other games on midweek. There's no way known you wouldn't have the biggest hit out, Vic v All-Stars. It'd be a tough game. It'd be the best of the best.
But you put the infrastructure around it, so you get the stars of yesteryear to come and talk to the players, to talk about the jumper, what it meant. You've got to build up that emotional attachment to it. Otherwise, they will take the piss.
Keen to hear everyone's thoughts on that.
Have we got an Instagram yet?
Yeah, we've got an Instagram. We'll put it on American Aces. We'll put up a lot. We've got a few graphics we're going to cook up during the week and get everyone's thoughts. And we'll also get the questions tab. But we're going to save that mainly for the reveal. There's a lot going on to the reveal. I don't want to put too many graphics up, but this reveal at the end, we need a name for the reveal, and there's plenty going. Anyway, the bounce of the footy, the roar of the crowd, the smell of the new turf, boys. It's just like the Pointsbet app, now with a faster design, AFL bet tracker to follow every disposal, each player's last 5 stats, plus video previews from AFL experts. This is betting made for true footy fans. Pointsbet, built different. It's time to get into our ladder predictions and then our player awards, lads. Let's start with our top 4 in order. And Pig, I know I didn't give you the run sheet till 5 minutes ago, so you just give us one that is an absolute lock and you kick us off.
Well, I reckon I've got my top 4, so don't stress. I've got Brisbane, GWS, Hawthorn and Collingwood. I like Hawthorn, like what they did last year. I think they're just going to gain on that. So I think Brisbane will be the team again to beat. But yeah, happy with that.
No Danaher, no worries?
No worries.
Who fills his role?
109 shots on goal he had last year, 58-51.
Well, someone will step up. I don't know. As I
That's a
said, I just
shit
thought of
ton
it
of
off the top of my head.
I was wild.
Chat GPT, give us something.
Yeah, no, well, I'm with you. I think they'll be in the top 2. I've got them at second. I've got Freo taking out the minor premiers. I just think that they're going to win a lot of home games. So there's 12 games straight up that I think they're going to be hard to beat, and then they're going to pinch a few. I had Carlton in there. Again, it's changing. My mind's changing every minute, but I'm going to leave them there. And then Geelong, who continue to recruit top-end talent. And again, it's the category. It's a fortress down there. So Freo, Brisbane, Carlton and Geelong. Top 4.
Bailey Smith's injured.
Yeah, a bit sore. It's not his ACL knee, it's his other knee. He'll be right. Look, it's touch and go. They always say that they'll get him up for round 1. But
How do you know this?
how do I know this?
Yeah.
I used to play with Bailey. He's a good man.
So you've...
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's
This is common knowledge. We're not throwing you under the bus.
No,
there,
I
mate.
was just
it's out there.
Okay.
It's out there. Yeah.
No, that's good.
I won't
Don't
diagnose
reveal
what
your
he's got.
sources, yeah.
No, I won't diagnose what he's exactly got.
Just a bit of
He's got-
Aces AFL show, just insights here,
that's
Daisy.
it, yeah.
You don't get this.
No, he'll be right. He's an absolute animal on the track, so he'll recover and play a big role there this year.
Does he train too hard?
Yes.
Like, yeah. That was the talk that I've heard over the years, that he just doesn't know when to slow down. Like, and that's why sometimes these injuries pop up. I heard he obviously looks fantastic, but he just works too hard where he breaks down
Again,
sometimes.
Your own worst enemy. Which he falls into that category a bit, but again, it's a competitive streak in him as well.
Yeah.
Like, he fights against everyone in the room, but then against himself to keep getting better. And I must admit, I'd much rather have a bloke like that on your team than someone who needed to get a jab up the arse every now and then. So,
Love it. Well, that's your top 4. Daisy.
Yeah, I've only got a top 3, but I'll add the Cats in on what you just said there, and I agree. They continue to get better. I think Bailey's going to be a massive inclusion, a real point of difference alongside a Max Holmes, that sort of line breaker. I've got the Giants on top. I think they've been that stiff the last 2 years to have not played off in a grand final and give themselves a chance to win. That Collingwood loss in the prelim by a couple of points. They had it sewn up against the Swans in week 1 of the finals. They then gas it again to the Lions up there. So I think they're cherry ripe. Jake Stringer, he could be recruit of the year. Imagine playing in that forward line or as a defender going, who goes to Toby Green, who goes to Jake Stringer, who then goes to Bedford, or the Darcy Jones, all
Brent
these.
Daniels,
There-
Cadman.
There is goal kicking galore there. Fremantle, I agree with you. I think the time is right. I think they've been disappointing the last couple of years. I'm happy to say that, but I think they'll be better. And I've still got Carlton there with a massive asterisk.
Yep.
Just sitting there with a question mark as to 2 or more injuries early on. I may be jumping off the bandwagon, but for now they're there and the Cats. I've left Sydney out of my 8.
Wow. I went and watched them live and they look slick. You left them out of the 8.
I did, yeah. So I was umming and ahhing. Cats, Brisbane, Pies, Port, and the last spot I gave for the Gold Coast Suns over them, just purely because of the draw.
Do you think they're going to drop that far off the Swannies?
I don't obviously know what's going on internally, and this is somewhat of a guess, but it's got to take a toll losing grand finals. You then get a new coach. You know, there'll be a honeymoon period, but it's going to be tough. Everyone's trying to figure them out because they've been a good side for so long. It can only last, I think, for a certain amount of time. I hope for Swan's sakes I'm wrong because they could easily piss in and be sitting top 4 for a lot of the year.
I've
But
actually got them slipping to 8 as well. So
Yeah.
I agree with you. I don't think they've got too strong. And again, talk about star power again. They've got some players that can win games off their own boot. But I just think that, like you said, the new environment, the new coach, this adrenaline to start of the year, I reckon they'll start on fire, but then they'll just plateau.
Yeah.
And then it'll hurt them.
It's one of those teams too. Like, wouldn't surprise if they're in the top 2 or 3, but someone's got to drop off if all these
Well, that's
teams
it.
we're expecting to get better are going to get into the top 4.
Yep.
I'm the same as you guys. I think Sydney will drop off a little bit, but
And,
they still
and
will.
doubt.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we're talking a bit about doubt this year, but if you've got a little bit of doubt, you know, it can become infectious. And, you know, your top end players who have copped the belting in 2 grand finals recently, you know, it'll take its toll and it'll spread like wildfire if it starts.
this is good fun because there'll be people out there watching this now and listening, and the receipts will be kept.
Well,
this-
receipts. I'm sitting there. I'm looking at them. I've got them second on my ladder. I'm going Hawthorn first, Sydney second.
Hawthorn on top.
Yep, Fremantle 3, GWS 4. Now, the top 4 was really hard with who goes 1, 2, 3, and 4. But speaking to heaps of people last year, we did, didn't we? Like, I remember speaking to every player that we knew going, Hawthorn legit, because I kept tipping against them. And they reckon they are just machines. Their game plan is so hard to defend. They work harder than everyone. They've got skill all over the field. And if they've just added some great players. Like, let's not forget who they've just added to their side as well. So I reckon Hawthorn are primed. And if they start well, they'll be really hard to beat. Sydney, I just think that midfield and look, I just think they're good to go still. I know they got smashed in a granny, but they were the top 2 team in the comp. So they move on from that game. I mean, how many times have you all been smashed in a game? I know it's a grand final, but new coach, sugar hit, get a few wins early, put the past behind you. It's a new season. Look forward.
7-hour review. How would you have gone on a 7-hour review, Pig?
Sleep 3 times.
How would you have gone in that? Let's do a 2K or a 4K. Let's do another one.
We did that. We did that in my first year at Essendon, and it was the worst. I saw that the other day or the other week, and it made me sick.
That's not the way to win over it.
Nah, that's why I reckon they're going down. So I went down after that. Probably Stuart beat me in the second one. Oh, not good.
Fremantle 3 and GWS 4. Freo's season last year was so disappointing, but because they finished outside of the 8, they get an easier schedule.
Yep.
I think North sold their home games to them, so they get an extra home game. There's little things like that I reckon they are primed, and they've got a midfield that's stacked. Shea Bolton's been added to the forward line. Their window's right now, and I reckon they have a real, not an easy run, but they should be able to get there from just their home games and whatnot. So that's my top 4. Let's finish it off. Pig, give us your 5, 6, 7, 8.
You should tell me about this.
Or someone you see in the 8 and out of the 8.
Well, they shot me in the foot last year, but I feel like the D's are going to bounce back. We've got Clary, who's apparently tearing up the track. Apparently, the new draftees are going to step up. I just think they'll be in the 8. A lot of people have them out. I know it's they're close to my heart because my mates are still there, and that's where I finished up my footy. But wouldn't be surprised if they're around 5th or 6th this year.
Nice. Let's go to you, Wal.
Yeah, so I've got GWS 5th, but hold a thought on that because I think they're going to go all the way this year. Win from outside the 8. I've got Collingwood, Hawthorn and Sydney. We spoke about, obviously, them not reaching, well, my belief is they're not going to reach the highs of last year, but I still reckon they're going to sneak in.
I had Sydney sliding, as I've touched on there, and could be made to look rather stupid. Wouldn't be the first time, and happy to do so because they're a good organisation. I love the Bloods and what they've done. However, you've got to put only 8 sides in there. The Gold Coast Suns, this is going to be, for me, the fascinating watch of the entire year. They could be 6-0. 6 and zip to start the season.
That's a big call, Daisy.
I've gone to the Pointsbet traders, undefeated after round 6, $13. Gamble responsibly. Top of the ladder after round 6, $7. As it stands, ready? Give me a yes, no. Do they beat Essendon at home round 1?
They do because of the weather.
Do they beat West Coast away round 2?
Yes.
Yep.
Do they beat the D's away? If they're going to improve, they're going to have to beat teams around them. So there's a 50-50. The Crows at home.
Yep. At home, I like them.
North away in the Barossa, which is gather round.
That's
good.
Should win that.
And the Tigers away.
That's a lock.
That's a line ball.
It's a lock for 4, isn't it?
Like if they're worse than 4 and 2, they've cooked the year already.
Yeah.
That's great intel there.
It's a good, like that is just a draw that sets up for.
Do you reckon Hardwick sat down and said, mate, at round 6, we should have 6 wins? Obviously in match committee, not
At
in.
some point they would be.
Because they'd be disappointed if they were any worse off
if they're
than 4
worse
and 2.
than 4 and 2,
Yeah,
and I'll probably put it down to 5 and 1. If you're going to improve like they have to get inside the 8, you've got to beat teams around you, which is your Adelaides and Melbournes.
Finish off your 8.
So it was GWS, Freo, Carlton, Cats, Brisbane, Pies, Port, and the Suns sneaking in for their first finals berth.
Nice. I went Collingwood 5, Brisbane Lions 6, Geelong 7, and then I've got 3 teams there, but I'll pick the Suns off the back of what you just told me, Daisy. I thought Collingwood had a heap of injuries last year, and people forget how good they are. I reckon they lacked a lot of people up forward last year, and when they're stacked, I think you'll see a taller and more powerful forward line and that midfield, and their player that I think will win the Brownlow we'll get to shortly. But I reckon people forget how good they are, so they should be playing finals.
Back in that mix, like he was so interrupted last year. You know what he can bring forward and around the ball.
Let's get right into the wooden spoon because I feel like this is easy. Are we all on the same page?
I think it's more when's their first win coming.
Tigers fans will probably, some of them will take this in a bad way, but it's a realistic point of view that they're going to be up against it with what they've let go, and they're going with youth. I was at the Blues when there was a similar thing happening, and it's hard. It's hard to win games. It's hard to be competitive for long enough to win games. They might be in games until 3/4 time, but the edge to then go on and win it is the hardest thing to do, and that takes years. I hope we're all wrong. I hope they can find a way, but we will see some exciting young players, which is the biggest tick. Hopefully Tommy Lynch can get back and play some good footy. But I think it's going to be a bloody tough year for the Tigs, and hopefully the shining light is the young kids start to really shine.
You're on the same page.
It's how many games, as you said, will they win one? How many games they got? What do you reckon the over-under would be?
I think it's 2.5.
It's 2.5.
Is it 2.5?
We might as well get to that one right now. 2.5 over-under. What are you taking with that one?
Yeah, I'm probably taking the unders, to be honest.
Well,
under.
Under.
I think I'm taking the unders as well because if you lose a couple key personnel,
Dion Prestia.
Yeah, but if you lose any of these guys, you get all these young guys running around.
I think they'll be with Ooze if they only win 2. With Ooze, if they only win 2, like are they getting like?
There needs to be an understanding.
Yeah,
there's reasons and excuses, and a reason will be that
they want to see improvement. Like the young guys getting better.
Even they've got such a loyal fan base, but they want to go to the footy knowing that they're going to see improvements in kids and a style of play that they can recognise, that they're working towards something.
They did beat Sydney last year when the Swans were.
Remember that was our last leg?
Talk about bad beats.
Baddest beat of the year. I think it was our last.
You still wouldn't cash out knowing the result.
We could not believe it. I still can't believe it, really.
No,
that was. I'll never forget Sydney losing to them
they
at the
did it to us
G.
twice last year, Sydney. That's probably why I've got a bit of a beamy bonnet about them. But anyway.
All right, let's get to player awards and go through them quickly here, gentlemen. Coleman medalist we'll go Woll to Hibbo.
Yep. Nick Larkey. He's had a ripping year last year, but I think with the addition of Jack Darling, obviously to help him out, spread the load with the defenders, and then my man Caleb Daniel delivering it down his throat, quite often. I think he's going to have not a breakout year, but a year where he's the premier key forward in the comp.
I reckon Caleb Daniel is flying. So if anyone out there that plays Supercoach or even wants a little same gamer to start the season, he is flying. I asked the North boys who's someone that's dominating, and they just can't believe how good he is. And do they play the Dogs first week?
Yeah, they do.
I just would love to see him just have 35 and then look at Bevo after the game and say, thanks for letting me go.
Allow him to run free off half back.
Well, you'd be surprised when they're just running around, he might kick in, play to himself, who knows? But they reckon he's just setting everything up at training. And
he's a gun.
You're probably right. He might get some attention.
If you got rid of him and then you're tagging him, it kind of goes against what you've done. So hopefully they do let him run free.
That's a good point. Mm-hmm.
Very good point there, Pete. Yeah. There we go, Daisy.
Rare hit. What did you want?
Rare hit. We're gonna go with Coleman medalists from you.
Harry Mackay. Blues, if they're going to play finals, they're going to have one of the big boys, if not both of them, kicking big scores. And I think, again, if he's fit and firing, as we've seen, he's won it before, he'll have enough shots. He looks like he doesn't have the yips or the concerns mentally inside 40 anymore. And I think for that reason, you can have a piece of him.
I like it. Well, you can have a piece of him at $21 at the moment as we record this podcast, and Nick Larkey, $17. I've gone with the guy just above him, Ben King. He's fourth in the market. He's $15 at the moment. But I reckon, you know what, it makes me even happier hearing what you just told me. I had that before I knew that. So I just think he's the main man up there. There's no one else out there that's...
He's got to be.
Yeah, well, he has to be, but he always has been as well. If he can stay fit...
22 games, though.
Yeah, that's it. If he stays fit, I just think he's the main man up there. And for $15, gamble responsibly, as you said, that is juice.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
Yeah, a bit boring. Last year's winner, Jesse Hogan, I think, with what GWS are doing, they're going to be in the top two. I just think he left a few out there last year and he kicked a lot of goals, so he'll be number one man again.
Love it. Second favourite at $6. Let's move into the next category, the Brownlow. Everyone loves the Chaz. My man Tommy Green out with a little sore calf for the first 2 to 3, which really hurt because I loved him. So I've changed my mind. Boys, who have you got? Start with you again, Wal.
Yeah, I got Zach Butters. Love him as a competitor. His top end talent, his top end speed, and then his composure with ball in hand. I just reckon he's going to get some 3-vote games in some big wins over there. But also, because I have them falling out of the 8, I think he's going to be highlighted more because the team's not going to perform as highly, so he's going to stand out more. So he's my tip to win.
Daisy.
Nick Dacos, arguably could have had 2 already, which is a stupid thing to have said.
Votes.
Yeah, he's just a ball magnet. He goes and gets it done. The Pies improve again. He's going to have more of the load with some of the boys getting older in there. He gets votes. He gets votes in games when the side doesn't play so well. That's generally a decent theory. Is my concern now they're talking the umpires aren't going to see stats. I don't know if that's come through yet. I don't know if that sways it in any way, but even if it doesn't, it probably makes it highlights him more because he will be at the umpire because he has the ball.
Yep.
Yeah, I reckon you're spot on. I completely agree with you. You got more.
Say that better.
He's going to be that prolific with ball in hand that he will be under the umpires' noses and their gaze as they're playing.
Fantastic.
Well.
You might start bringing him to 7 with you. You sit on the panel next to you and Cornsey when you're struggling to go head to head.
Well, we'll take this, but
I won't even waste anyone's time. I agree. Nick Dacos, $6. He's the favourite at the moment.
Well, it's boring because I was going to say the same thing. Like even when he gets 25 touches, he's so elite by foot. He stands out. He kicks goals and he runs with the ball. Like that stands out. People breaking out of packs. I think that's why Cripps and that get those votes because it's strong. It stands out to the umpires. And I think Dacos is he'll get another 35 votes. It's just whether someone's going to get 48 or whatever Cripps got last year. So he should win.
He's one that you love watching play though, and you want to do well because he is the epitome of a superstar of the comp. So
yeah,
again, I don't have him, but I'll be very happy if he did walk away with Charlie.
Love it. Let's get to the rising star. I think this is really tough, but everyone has an opinion, starting with you, Wal.
Yeah, look, disappointingly, I had Jagger Smith. Loved some of the clips that I've seen over summer.
You can stay with it. You'll get value.
I'll get value.
I don't even think he's in
I'll
the market
give you 100
anymore.
to 1.
Yeah, no, true. Look, I'm not going to hide my disappointment in, a young kid with so much talent who has the world at his feet. Look, it's only on delay. He's going to get his opportunity. But I've gone with the favourite, Levi Ashcroft. Watched a couple of his games at Brighton Grammar last year. Got tagged, so did whatever he wanted. Front running, Look, defence will be a question mark, but in a team like Brisbane, who's going to have the ball more often than not, I reckon he'll, again, talk about getting in the eyes of umpires. He'll be one to snare a couple of votes as well.
I was with you with Jagger Smith. I thought he was going to have a season where he would have got a lot of game time, a lot of minutes in a side that should be improving again. So we officially say to the kid, bad luck and speedy recovery. We can't wait to see you out there. I'm going with the number 1 pick, Sam Lawler.
Yeah.
Makes sense. He got the fractured cheekbone.
Is he back from round 1?
I don't think it matters when he gets back. He's going to get game time because of those factors we've already spoken about. A young list, they need to get games into these kids. He'll have the opportunity to get a lot of the footy. And I sort of lent away. I think Levi Ashcroft's going to be a star, but I'm just not sure how many games he can break into that Brisbane side. It's hard to do into a premiership side. The position he plays, he's got to jump ahead of a few blokes who have cemented their spots. I hope he, again, plays a lot of footy, but I think Lawler will be more of a lock to play more games and get more of it.
Love it. I'm going to go with Nate Caddy. I'm going to go with a little bit of experience. I reckon he can get going up there. He was pretty exciting last year, and the fact that he hasn't played enough games last year enters him in this market, and you can get a juicy $13. But I just like Essendon. I did toss between them taking the 8th spot. I'd love to see them play finals.
Would you though?
Yeah, I do. I grew up barracking for the Dons, and I've had enough of their memes and whatnot. And eventually, you look at any teams, you just can't be in the bottom 8 or not play finals for that long. So I think that he'll kick a few goals and really stand out, and he'll take some hangers. And I think when it comes down to this list, a lot of these players are, when they're first-year players, if they are for Richmond, like you just said, one of the, the number 1 pick, if they're getting smashed, it's hard to get your 25s, your 30s, or whatever it is. So if Essendon can compete, win half the games they play, he should be able to kick a lot of goals. And if he kicks 30, then you got to think that he gets it. So that's my pick.
Nice.
Yeah, I've got Levi as well, the favourite. Being in a better team, I think stands out when you're voting. Like if you're in a team playing every week, which I think he will. He looks like a strong boy. He obviously has dominated the underage comps. They'll play him because they need to. They need him going well and developing. But when you're in a better team, one of the top teams, as opposed to Layla, who's playing for Richmond, I think you're probably going to vote for someone who's in the top 2 teams. So I think he'll play well. He looks like a big, strong boy, so he's my vote.
Tell me you've handballed this because you've gassed it. It's time to look straight down the barrel. Premiership winner and Norm Smith medalist. Whoa.
The Premiership team for 2025 will be GWS, and Jakey Stringer will kick 5 goals and be the Norm Smith medalist.
Retweet.
The exact same.
Yeah, that's what I had.
Wow.
The winner of the 2025 Premiership are the GWS Giants, and the winner of the Norm Smith medal for 2025 is Jake Stringer. You can see it. You can see it.
That's crazy because I'm doing the same, but not with the norm.
Oh, right. Okay, sorry.
The winner of the 2025 AFL Premiership will be the GWS Giants, and Norm Smith, Brent Daniels.
I like that.
Love it. The winner of the 2025 Premiership is the Brisbane Lions.
Are you looking at the camera?
Where am I looking?
You're not meant to look at the screen, the camera. So this one.
The winner of the 2025 Premiership is the Brisbane Lions, and Norm Smith is Lockie Neal.
Back to back.
We didn't win it last year. Didn't win the Norm.
Who are they playing? Just go around quickly. Boom.
They're playing Freo.
I had Carlton.
I had Hawthorn.
GWS.
Nice. Interstate. That wouldn't be good for ticket sales if you are selling tickets on the side.
We don't sell them.
No, we don't. But there are people out there that do
If
that.
you boys
Watch
want
this
to get rid of
space.
yours.
Yeah, watch this space.
What's the rules on that?
All right, it's
Any
time.
young blokes,
Want to go illegal,
young blokes want your grand final tickets.
You can tell those stories now. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, boys, time for quick fire before we get to this massive announcement that we've got, the big reveal, and we need everyone listening and watching to help us name the big reveal and get Piggy involved as well. I'm going to go, you guys answer, and I'll finish it off. Let's start with Adelaide season wins. Everyone, let's fly. While you're going to start, we go to Piggy. Okay, over under 11.5 wins.
Under, can't trust them.
Under.
Beautiful. Brisbane Lions, 14.5.
Win over. Win home games over 14.5.
Over.
Carlton season wins, 13.5.
Over, star power.
If I've got them finishing top 3, they're going to have to win more than that, so over.
I've got them just under. They're going to sit on 13.
Too, just.
Yeah, just 0.5, Figgy. 0.5. Collingwood, season wins 13.5.
Over.
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 Love it. Essendon, 9.5.
Yeah, over.
Yeah, I'll say over.
Over.
I'm going under.
Fremantle, 13.5.
Yeah, over.
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 Geelong, 13.5.
Over.
Over.
I've got them under.
I've got them.
I'm concerned this year. Just a little bit. They still play finals.
Under.
Gold Coast, 11.5.
Over. Buy. What do you get a $1.90, take your pick?
$1.95.
Pointsbet. I don't know how they do it. Incredible. $1.95 tick.
Is that the
Pointsbet.
best? Is that after what you've said? Do you think that's the best one so far?
I'm looking at top 8 here, and the last team on the top 8 is Adelaide at 250. So in terms of it, Brisbane, Hawthorn, Sydney, Greater Western Sydney, Geelong, Carlton, Collingwood, Port Adelaide, Fremantle, Western Bulldogs, Adelaide is on my sheet. They're 250. The Gold Coast Suns don't feature in there. So that's, again,
That's a better market to take then, because you'd think
Yeah.
they play finals. Yeah.
either or. Yeah.
Over for me as well.
Yeah, I'm going to go over.
We need them to play
Daisy's
finals.
convinced me.
Yeah, geez.
Well, they need to play
convinced
finals,
I'm
don't
on
they?
the payroll too at the
Righto, next one. GWS, 14.5.
I've got them winning the flag, but I'm going to go under.
That'd be a nice market to take.
over.
It's going to be by half a game. I'm going to stick with over.
I'll go over as well.
Hawthorn, same thing, 14.5.
I'm going under because they're going to become hunted now. They're going to find it a lot tougher this year, Hawthorn.
Under. Sell.
Over.
Under.
Melbourne, 11.5.
I'm going to go over. I think they're going to make the final.
Just from everything, I've got to go under. They don't fit my top 10.
Yeah, for the reasons that I've listed as to why teams are ahead of them, I have to take the under.
Under. Forward line worries me. North Melbourne, 5.5.
Yeah, they're going to win more than that.
Yep.
They've
Are
got
we
Nick
all on
Larkey.
Yeah,
He's going to kick a lot of
I'll take
goals.
the
I'm going
overs,
over as well.
Could be a
I'd
North
almost-
Melbourne and Gold Coast, same game are there, Daisy. Yep,
Same
everyone's
season.
over. And then we finish off with Richmond, 2.5.
Yeah, under, unfortunately.
Under.
And that hurts me to say.
Sad.
It does, it does
It
hurt.
is sad.
Port Adelaide, 13.5. Is that the most?
That's high.
That's high.
Under for sure.
No Marshall, no Dixon. Like,
But
where's
even
their
no
forwards?
Last year it was 13.5 to get in, or 13 wins. Is there a chance this year it'll be so even, the low numbers are going to be in? That's a trend worth
Used to be
following.
12.
Yeah.
If you make the finals, I swear 10 years ago,
I
it was
wouldn't-
12 would get you in, no worries.
Wouldn't be surprised if like 5th to 12th was sort of by percentage in the last round.
Comes down to obviously Richmond. If they don't, as you said, win one game.
Who gets them twice?
Yep.
Yeah, you do have to sort of look at the draw as to some of the easier ones, but
Yeah, I've got Port under as well. Yeah.
Yep, under.
But-
St Kilda, 10.5. We haven't spoken about the Saints at all.
Oh, mate, history suggests I can't see them winning 11 games this year.
they got busy back end of the season, which is, we're starting for the new year. We're already looking forward. Again, do they improve?
No battle. I reckon they've lost a bit.
Yeah.
Few rumours on the
They
Big
look-
King hurt himself, but he's okay.
They looked okay in the pracky against the Blues. I'm going to take the under because I just don't know. They are a real question mark for me.
Under as well for me.
If Cadman's not going there, what's his name?
Finn Callahan.
Finn Callahan's not going there for 1.7. That's why I'm not doing this shit anymore. It's the Saints. I think they'll be bottom four.
And the Sydney Swans, 14.5. So the bookies, our friends at Pointsbet have them right up there.
No, as I've said, I'm a big no.
I went under. Not a big no, but yeah,
I've got them
get
I
there.
think two, I think, so I'll go over.
I'll go under.
All right, 2 to go. West Coast. West Coast, 5.5.
Over. I reckon they're going to win a few. They're not going to trouble the finals, but I think they're going to win at least 6 or 7 games with Harley Reid featuring prominently.
Under.
I'm going to go under. I reckon they'll win 5, just.
Yeah, I'm going the 0.5 as well.
Yeah, I'm going under as well.
And then we finish with
Don't
the
trust
Western
them yet.
Bulldogs, 12.5.
I'll go last.
I'll go under. I think
I'm going to go
they're in
under
trouble
as well.
early.
I'm under.
Under.
Yeah, unfortunately, they've got a tough start to the
Why
year.
did you want to go last and then you're not liking
He's
being
changed
last?
his tune, I think.
Well, if someone said yes, I would have jumped off.
The injuries have really rattled you because you had them up there, but they've
I
lost
had
a
them up
couple.
there. So I had them, and again, they're one of those 5th or 15th teams that could be coming in 5th
Yeah.
and really rattling, or again, injuries and other things pile up. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to go under just with the tough start and the cattle they got to choose from.
Be careful take it on the Western Bulldogs. I said last year, get a Sharpie out after they lost to Port. The season's done. They then won into the finals. And my clip of that was played in the motivational video.
Oh. Hey, you might have got him
hard
there.
hitter.
Hey, you might have got him
Oh,
there.
Sharpies Thomas.
I'll be cheering for him every week. Oh, no, that much.
Yeah, from your super yacht.
Oh,
Well, that rounds out all our predictions, boys, and it's going to be very fun throughout the year to revisit them. We'll get up a few graphics for everyone else out there, but it is time. It is time for the big reveal, Daisy.
I'm waiting for this.
This is
what do you
exciting,
think
Pig.
I just want to hear you keep saying reveal.
Oh, I just don't want to call it what it is. We don't.
The fact that we had to get a legal definition to read out means how big it is.
Maybe you do that, Daisy, and then Pig can ask some
explain
questions.
it first, and then I'll use the legal definition.
We
But
get a little drum roll there, please, Brodo.
Pig,
Yes.
we are having a wheel, like a spin the wheel, but your local footy club has the opportunity to get their name on the wheel.
Love it.
So you email in, you put your name down. The person who applies has to be over the age of 18, obviously. Victorian clubs only so far because of laws and legislation. Your team will go on the wheel. There'll be 18 spots.
14.
14 spots. Good. I was just checking you. I knew it was 14. 14 spots. Every week we spin the wheel. Lands on a footy club. $1,000 from Pointsbet. We pick 3 legs of a multi. The president picks a leg. You win, it's yours.
Has to be one leg each over $2.
That's huge.
Minimum, I think, is about. It's always over 15 when you do the math.
Yeah, how good a PointsBet.
There you go. So key legal points here, 18 years of older, Victorian applicants clubs. Applicants selected by best submission in form. Selected clubs, applicants go on the wheel. Spinner notified within 48 hours. After that, we retain the right to spin again if you don't get back to us. So make sure whoever you put down is ready to answer the phone within 48 hours.
Love it. So Port Melbourne Colts, can we get the Port Melbourne Colts down
Colts
there?
do with
president of the Colts?
No, you don't. Yeah, that's unfair.
Stacker.
So Stacker has to fill the form out. We've got an application form. We're going to put on the internet. So if you're listening to this, make sure you get your president to fill it out because he's clearly going to be 18 plus.
You'd think
and
so.
he simply fills it out and he submits it. Once we have hopefully over hundreds of submissions, we're going to do a random lottery and pick 14 out. So they go on the wheel and then we're going to spin that wheel and whatever it lands on, that club is up for the first $1,000 bet.
This is amazing.
And if it wins, we will go down.
What are you doing? Are you going odds? Are you going safe? Do you want a pocket?
It has to be over $2. So you'd be going for that $2.05.
Yeah, you going a bit more juice
Are you
though?
going for the 10 trout or the 1 marlin? What are you
exactly.
going for?
I reckon I'm getting greedy.
But you
It's
know
free
what the best-
money.
You know what the best part is? Imagine all of us three right here pick the winner and the Pres lets them down.
I can't wait till one of us lets us
One of
down.
us lets them down.
You
you know?
feel like a
There'll be
dog.
punishment though. for
Yeah,
that,
there will be punishment for
Going
that.
off last year, mate, we weren't very good. So this could
I know.
be.
Well, but we did land a couple of weeks, and that's all we need. Just one or two weeks.
100.
Yeah.
How good though for local footy?
Oh,
Like you're
gonna be
trying to drum up your footy trip. Away you go.
yeah.
Oh, Christmas.
So
I'm sure the president will be rapt that all the money's going on the footy trip. Not
Well,
not
it doesn't- we don't stipulate where it goes to.
yeah, they can
but,
do what they want with it, and
it'll
we
be
will
going
drop
to
it
If it's
off.
not footy trip, you can fuck off.
But what we need everyone's help. We need a name for this. We've got the president's wheel. We've got all these kinds of names.
We
We
had the
can't just
wheel
have
of-
fortune.
No, we
There's a
weren't meant to
copyright
say that.
disclaimer there. But there's a lot of names that we've got, but we want to put it out to you guys. It's going to
Really
involve,
good.
really good.
No, really good.
Oh, really good.
really good.
We need some help. So get online, check out our socials. We're going to put a little tab up there. We're also going to have a link to the application form. So make sure your president gets in. We need to have as many forms as possible. Like Daisy said, Victoria only due to permits. We're working on every other state, but there's a lot of local footy clubs, and we are going to start this as soon as it's all ready to go. The wheel actually arrives today at 2 p.m. It's about 12 o'clock as we're recording. So that is exciting. Can't wait to reveal the wheel. And that's about it, lads. But that's going to be one of our most famous segments, and I just can't wait to start it off. And let's hope we can kick it off with a bang. I think round one will start this wheel concept once we have our name.
Righto, get the applications in.
Yeah, that's exciting.
And just how many times you can only apply once?
Yeah, so
Just
you apply once, and if you do get, you land on when wheel spins and it lands on your club, well, that'll be your week, and that's you've done for the year. And then the next week, we have to obviously pick someone out of the application process and put them on the wheel. So there's always someone that comes back in. So we'll announce that on social media, I think, leading up to the show. It's going to be exciting. If you're not on the wheel, you want to be on the wheel. And then when we spin the wheel, they want to be the one that lands on that wheel. We just need a name for the wheel. I'm pumped already, boys.
You said wheel a lot then, eh? Yeah.
Reveal wheel. I'm going to dream about that tonight.
Do you want to reverse chat GPT?
I reckon that's our first show
Strong,
done and
that's
dusted,
strong,
lads.
that's
And
right.
Pig, thanks so much for coming
Hey,
on, mate.
boys,
I really
good luck.
appreciate it. And we're going to have you on throughout the year. And we even got some presents for you, mate. You don't just come on the Aces AFL show and go home empty-handed.
What do you
I
got?
reached out to our friends at Caps and we thought we've got to get some custom hats. So, mate, show the camera these hats that we've designed and you can pick one.
This is controversial.
Whoa, pig.
Making podcasting great again.
We're going to be cancelled after Ep 1.
Who's that
Trust fund boy, that'll be Mitchy. Although the grouse.
There you
So you
go,
can have that one. That's Puch. I'm taking that home with me. Where'd you get these? The Aces AFL Show. That's a good one.
Beautiful.
Feel like I'm. It's a Christmas Day. You're like, oh yeah, this is good.
You're pretending they're good presents.
You're flying through them.
Relax. It's podcasting.
Yeah, that's what
All
I
right.
need. No, can I have that
There you
one?
go
That's
there,
what I
Daisy.
need, just in case I say something controversial.
Anything been pissing you off? Any Puch lately?
You know what has pissed me off? High on integrity at this podcast
We are.
last
It's
year,
what
and
the whole
we
show's
had
built
a
on.
we had a punishment that you still haven't done from last year.
Hang on a second, Pig.
3,000 calories. You need to walk into a gym until you've done 3,000. You can't leave. And when are you going to do it? I don't know. I wanted to bring it up at the start of the show, but I thought I'd let it unfold.
How long does 3,000 calories? I know the intake of it
It
doesn't
takes
take long.
5 hours, and I've done my hemi bad. My right hemi's grade 2.
There's
So
a grinder there, mate.
Yeah.
There's ways around it.
And in your phone.
you know what, Pig? You are right. I actually do
Hey, you got a
owe
raw dog with no
3,000.
music too.
That's-
Was
was-
there raw dog involved in the
Either 3,000, I reckon you can use music, but I reckon a portion of it has to be raw dog.
Far out.
Anyway, it's up to you, mate. It depends what you
So
if
should
you
we lock
want
a day
people to
in?
believe.
I
what
will
you're
get
saying.
it done before round 1.
I
There we
won't
go.
do it with you. Just as a part
I'll
of
get
it.
me
I don't
watch
think
and I'll
I'll
do
be
it. You know
there,
what? I
yeah.
appreciate you bringing that up because I actually haven't done that, and it's important. And that was I lost the tipping last year, so you're right.
Yeah, well done. Good luck to you.
Well
I don't think you'll get it
Wrap
done
it up.
because that's a lot.
I've got to get jump on a Zoom in 5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Wrap
Well,
it.
that's us done. Thanks so much. Big show. Boys, welcome. And Pig, thanks for joining us.
On your
We'll
Pig.
see you next
On
week
your
on the
boys.
Aces
Keep your great
AFL
work.
show. See you later.
You win some, you lose more. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.